Doo-doo-dee. It's Nandi!
Hello friends, I'm back today after a short hiatus over the festive period and I hope everyone has had a nice holiday. I'm going to be covering 3 things in today's video which will be time-stamped as usual. We'll start with some infographics and advice for the final Aun'Shi legendary release event coming in January, and then we'll go into some speculation for things that I think will be coming into the game quite soon. The newest Ad Mech character, as well as a Death Guard faction rework and campaign. Before we get into the meat of the video, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to the winners of my last Tyrant Guard giveaway. I've replied to the comments of the 6 winners shown on screen, and unfortunately only 3 have stepped forward to claim their prize. If you haven't seen the comment or haven't claimed your free prize, please drop me a message on Discord so that I can get you sorted. For those of you that missed out, don't worry, I do these sort of giveaways regularly and all you have to do is stay tuned to the channel for future ones. I'm planning on updating my Dirty Dozen in January 2024 and I'll be aiming to do another big giveaway then too. Another reason to stay tuned is that I should have a free community code to use when my channel hits 500,000 views. The code will only last for a short time, so make sure you're subscribed so that you don't miss these opportunities. I never thought I would reach this milestone when I first started making content less than a year ago, so again, thank you to all of you for your support. If you've been following the announcements, you'll know that the Aun'Shi legendary release event is returning for its final of 3 cycles on January 28th. For those of you that are new, these sorts of events come around every 5 weeks and give you a chance to earn points and unlock a rare legendary character. You have a week-long event where you battle in missions with certain traits and restrictions and earn points towards character progression. As this is the last run of the Aun'Shi event, if you aren't able to unlock him, then you will earn character shards based on your progress. The remainder of the unused event currency gets converted back to Blackstone and gold at the rates shown on screen. If this is your first time approaching a legendary release event, I would recommend going back and checking one of my older videos where I break down legendary release events in more detail, including what character levels are necessary in order for you to unlock the legendary character. I've included here my updated visual infographic for those of you who are approaching the event for the first time and want a quick eyeball to see which characters in your existing roster will earn you the most points. Highlighted in white are characters who I think will give you good value to upgrade, choices that reflect both usefulness within the event as well as in other legendary events and general game use. In the top left, Gibascraps does well in the physical damage tracks and is also probably the most useful orc in the game at the moment. With his repair mechanic and powerful tank summon, he can carry you through the campaign as well. Incisus is a generally underpowered hero but useful as one of the few healers in the game that can also meet the trait restrictions of 1 hit. He's probably not the most important character if you're starting out legendary release events, but he looks to be a legendary event stalwart for those of you in the mid to later stages of roster progression. Aleph Null does well as a mechanical healer, scoring lots of points here and having a lot of use generally both here as well as other legendary release events and in the Necron campaign. Sho and Calandus do well due to their piercing damage and 1-hit trait, both of which we see often as recurring traits in legendary release events. Finally, the Tyrant Guard is a powerhouse tank that meets the physical damage trait as well as a host of others to come in at 907 points, and I would wholeheartedly recommend this character not just for this event, but for other legendary release events too. I've updated a simple online Google Sheet with all of these characters filtered by trait, which you'll be able to access and edit via the link in the video description below. A lot of people like this sheet for its simplicity, but I should also point you in the direction of the Tacticus Web Planner app, which is a community tool that allows you to input your roster, and the web tool will filter and sort your roster to your heart's content. It's an excellent resource maintained by Severin, and I highly recommend it. The next thing to talk about is what I think will be the next Ad Mech character. This is speculation by me, and I have not been given any information directly from Snowprint about whether or not this will take place. Those of you that are keen-eyed will have noticed a new character on the banner that is currently in-game. On the left-hand side we can see character models for the 3 Adeptus Mechanicus characters that we already know are coming to the game. Left to right is Tangida, Actus Fulgurosus and Vitruvius Thanek. On the far right is a character model and character that hasn't been mentioned yet through official channels. Now, I'm inclined to believe that since they've gone so far as to create a character model in the style and likeness of the rest of the faction, this will be the next character. So the question is, who is this character? Well, the character model looks a lot like the tabletop Sicarian Ruststalkers. I want to thank Draupnir and Lunchbreak Mini Painter for helping me find the model and information. Apologies for all the red circles, but on screen you can see the similarities between the character model in-game and the real-life miniature. Both models had the same gas mask and both wield the same transonic blade and cord claw. They even both had this scorpion-like spiked tail. We know that Tacticus is an official Games Workshop licensed product, and Snowprint have to design their character models to look close to the Games Workshop product. So I would put good money on this character coming to the game. The next question probably is, well, what does the character do? On screen you can see the datasheet for the Sicarian Ruststalker. I realise that some of you may not play Warhammer Tabletop, so I'll walk you through this and how it might translate into a game character. On the top left you can see the unit stats. 6-inch movement is roughly standard for infantry models on Tabletop, so we can see that this model has a slightly higher than normal movement. Toughness 4, 2 wounds and a 4+ save are pretty average for infantry models, so I'm not expecting him to be a defensive powerhouse. Leadership and OC don't translate to Tacticus, so we can ignore those. You'll notice that his gear only mentions melee weapons, and I therefore expect him to be an exclusively melee character. All of his weapons have a high number of attacks and do devastating wounds and have precision. I would expect this to translate into an assassin type character either with multiple hits, high damage, or both. On the right hand side of the datasheet you can see the stealth ability, which could translate as the infiltrate ability in game. Optimized Gait could be a passive or active ability, increasing his movement either temporarily through something like Rapid Assault or just giving him a flat base movement of 4. Time will tell how close I am to the mark, but I'm interested to hear from those of you that are more familiar with the Ad Mech. Finally, I wanted to discuss what I strongly believe will be an upcoming faction rework for the Death Guard. The keen-eyed among you will be looking through the game after every patch and looking for character icons and premium character icons. We know that one of the premium Battle Pass rewards is a premium character portrait, and this lets us look ahead and predict what might be the next Battle Pass featured character. We know that Brother Thoriad has his Battle Pass in January, and there is a premium icon to match. Snowprint have just reworked the Black Templar faction recently, and it's a good thing they did, or this Battle Pass would be a much less attractive purchase for the Tacticus player. You'll also see on screen that there is a premium Battle Pass for Corodius. Corodius is one of the weaker characters in the game at the moment, and as a faction, the Death Guard are generally pretty poor. I would put them on par with, or slightly better than Shadowsun. Clearly, Snowprint are incentivized for the Battle Pass to be a product that players want to purchase, and in his current state, I think very few are excited about Corodius. Snowprint has shown a desire and drive to rework old factions, and the upcoming Battle Pass would lead me to believe that the Death Guard are next on the menu. In terms of campaigns, my money is on the Battle of Startide Nexus. This recounts an epic war between the Tau and Death Guard, which the Tau won, but at great cost to their fleet. It was led by none other than Commander Shadowsun, so it would all fit together organically with existing characters. Sadly, the lore Shadowsun is a very different beast to game Shadowsun, who is pretty weak and in need of a rework. The Death Guard campaign would be an easy way to make one of the oldest factions in the game farmable, and it would make sense for Snowprint to also make them accessible after reworking them. Down the line, Snowprint could then launch a mirror campaign and make the Tau farmable too. What might we expect through a Death Guard rework? Honestly, at this stage I don't know. I think we might see some changes in damage types, like Snowprint did with Mortarion. I would expect Toxic to feature more regularly, and that in itself might be enough to push the Death Guard forward, especially if the Toxic armor debuff stacks with the Contagions of Nurgle faction aura. That's all I've got for today, short and sweet. I had initially just planned on throwing an Aun'Shi update out there, but the speculation on the Rustwalkers and the Death Guard was too easy not to include. I'll sign off here with two things. If you're a newer player who hasn't used their referral code, I would love if you could consider entering mine as shown on screen. It earns you 100 Blackstone and supports me in the work that I do. It is single use though, so choose who you support carefully. Finally, if you're interested in joining the Eye of Terror cluster, feel free to drop by our Discord via server link below. All 7 guilds are in the top 50, 6 are in the top 25, and 3 are in the top 10. Lots of good people, lots of good strategies, and lots of fun. Hope to see you there. Bye for now.
Doo-doo-dee. It's Nandi!